my goodness. Let's see what this looks like. All right. Happy Sunday. Hi, Balt Vodka. How are you? Long time no see. All right. Happy Sunday. Ty, I definitely joined. Let me turn this. I might have to pause the dryer. 1 second. Clean these glasses. Oh wow, Peony. This is gorgeous. Hi Luna, how are you? Good morning, happy Sunday. All right guys, so I'm gonna get started. Welcome everyone, happy Sunday. I know you guys are like, what the hell is she doing on so early? I'm trying something new to see what the crowd looks like on a Sunday. So hopefully everyone is having a great day or had a good weekend. Just booked tickets to New Orleans next month, so excited to go again. Oh, welcome. Hi, Nita. Welcome. All my people who are in love. I love it, Luna. I can feel the energy. You're definitely happy. All right, guys, so I'm going to get started. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kiana Fairley, also known previously as My Ancestors' Dreams. I'm a clairvoyant and clairsentient, and I have the ability to read energy through the physical. Baby is doing well, recovering from surgery as well. Oh, okay, she is? Well, that's good to hear. I didn't know she had surgery. So yes, guys, I pull energy through the physical, and since typically you guys are on live, we are not in the physical, I ask that you send me or have my clients send me a photo of themselves, of a deceased loved one, or a relationship to gain some sense of clarity surrounding around the patterns in their relationship. I have a few new updates, just an FYI guys. So again, I do have a women's retreat that I will be doing here in Medellin, Colombia. For those of you who are not aware, I actually made a post yesterday, so go ahead and check that out. She says she had a full hysterectomy a few weeks ago. Listen, I'm next. The behavior is not in line with our policies and may result in getting suspension. What? This behavior is not in line with our policies and may result in getting suspension. Feature continuous and monotonous actions without clear objectives of sustaining engagement. They're trying to block me for something? What the hell did I say? What the hell is going on? Listen guys, they literally just sent me a thing telling me that they're gonna block me. Honestly, at this point, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'll take my stuff over to YouTube. That was interesting. Honestly, the challenges that certain challenges that I've been facing, some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community and its experience. You may have to talk in code about the retreat. That works for me as well. Well, regardless, there's a post about it, guys, so if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. Well, I'm gonna get started. Wow, what a way to shift my energy, because I was really excited about joining and trying something new, because I normally don't come on Sundays, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you guys how to pivot, because honestly, life is gonna throw a whole bunch of things at you, but just don't stop your grind. That's all I can say. All right, guys? So before we get started, again, I typically request that you guys help me to get up to at least 1K likes before we get started with the spiritual sessions. So I tried to put everything in this little box here. If you guys can see it, great. If not, please let me know. Those are the instructions. Make sure that when you guys are sending over the photos, just because I'm an energy reader, that I need you guys to be able to send over photos that are as recent as possible, that the eyes are clear and that they're able to be seen, and because the eyes are the gateway to the soul. So we are going to get started. Again, with every session, guys, I typically give away one free read. So go ahead and help to get us up to 1K likes. For those of you who are in here, tap the screen, guys, share it out, and let people know that I'm in here. And we can get started. So once we get up to 1K likes, guys, I will definitely go ahead and get the free read started. The free reads are typically only for newcomers, guys. So any new guys that are in the chat, go ahead and comment in below where you're tuning in from. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Wow, that just threw me off. I'm like, sheesh. What? I didn't even do anything. Honestly, things are shifting so much on different social media channels. They should be filtering all of this war stuff that they're posting. But you're filtering me talking about a nervous system reset? Okay. You tell me what's wrong with that. You tell me what's wrong with that. They're showing bombs. They're showing people on planes having to put their heads down because of certain things like that. But you're telling me a nervous system reset needs to be filtered. Okay. You guys cannot tell me that this is intentional. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. All right, guys, so let's get the live. Tap the screen, guys. Listen, even if you're just in here, comment below where you're tuning in from. You don't have to be a newbie. Wow, that's so insane. Wow. That's so sad, guys. It's really sad. Huh? It's not working? Okay, let me check, okay? Thank you, Nita, for likes. I really appreciate it. We are almost at 1K. Guys, please also share out the live as well. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check on Una's situation. Come on. Gifting suspended. The behavior is not in line with our policies. Gifting is suspended on this line. Reason: failure. Feature continuous and monotonous actions without clear objective of sustaining engagement. They blocked gifting. I don't get gifts this way anyway, so it is what it is. I'm just appalled right now. I'm appalled. Anyways, guys, I don't even know what to do right now. I'm about ready to go on to YouTube, guys. But anyways, I am doing reads for those of you who are interested. Again, feel free to comment below where you're tuning in from. For those of you who know, I travel with my 2 children globally. We are currently located in Medellin, Colombia. So for those of you who are interested, again, like I said, I typically do 1 free session throughout each live. So let's break the mold, guys. Let's break this ceiling that they are trying to place on healing. And comment below, guys, at least where you're tuning in from. Let's see, where are you guys tuning in from? Big Texas now, haha. I love it. How are you liking the new job? I love that for you. What did we say earlier? Perfect time for you to show how to shift. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you. The level of challenges that I've experienced over the past challenges that I've experienced over the past 2 weeks has been really exhausting. And I feel like a lot of people would be like, okay, I give up. But I'm going to continue to show up. So Working with kids like me has been so fulfilling. That's amazing. No, I just, I'm working on, how do I put it? Learning when the level of resistance is for you to move forward or the level of resistance is for you to step back, right? And that's one hard thing. A lot of people try to decide when to navigate or how to navigate that. Is this something that I move forward with, or is this something that I just step back from? And for some reason in this season, I feel compelled to continue to drive through and not give up. I think the reason being is because the world needs me more than now. And I'm not here to save the world, but I'm here to save my community and to help my community. And so I know this is my life's purpose. This is something that I was born and gifted to do. I've been counseling and supporting and, doing this for a really long time. And so this is not nothing new to me. And I feel like all of my life experiences, whether they were hurtful to me, were for me to utilize as a testimony to be able to be who you guys need me to be, right? So if this is a direct reflection of resilience and consistency and showing up, I will be that. I will be that. I wouldn't give a fuck if there's 0 people in here. At the end of the day, I know what it is that I have to offer. And I'm also realizing how, people gravitate towards illusions. They gravitate towards illusions. They gravitate towards fear. People gravitate towards things that are unknown to them. And do you know healing is a form of the unknown to many? People say they want love, but when love presents itself, it's boring, or it requires them to be vulnerable. And if it's different from their core beliefs and what they grew up with, I'm telling you, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you guys are still here. They're like, I had to leave. No worries. Who's still here? Sorry about that. That was my son's grandmother. And she's actually coming to Colombia, so I wanted to make sure I took that call. But yes, let me be that reminder to you all that no matter what it looks like, make sure that you continue to keep pushing. I know it gets exhausting, I really do, but you have to. You have to. Now, certain things you have to let go of, right? If it's taking from your spirit, that's when you need to start to step back. I just know that it's not always a no. It may be the way that you're showing up, right? Or presenting, or how you're going about doing it. I honestly thought about, because what I've noticed with social media, anytime that a Black woman is talking about a form of trauma, she's talking about the way that life hurt her or something to that degree, she will go viral, right? TikTok and social media still portrays that, they project that so much. What you do and give is beyond invaluable. Thank you so much, love. Yeah, what I noticed, they push that content, right? The trauma, the healing, that keeps us stuck. You guys do understand that, right? That keeps the majority of people stuck. They believe that that's normal. Like, where's the rest of Tessa at now? I want to know, does anybody know any updates on rest of Tessa and her situation? Because we've all been there, but what is she doing moving forward, and how is she supporting her community with her testimony and that experience? How are you helping younger women not have to experience what you just went through that was so traumatic? Because I have not seen her since then. But unfortunately, you know, healing is not aesthetic. Healing is not aesthetic. Quantum leaping is not aesthetic. The shit that you guys see on social media and them making it seem like, you know, it's a breath of fresh air and things of that nature. No, it's some deep core rewiring. It's you digging deep and reprogramming your mindset, surrounding around your worthiness. And I tell this to all people all the time. Your core beliefs are based off of your parents and how they co-created the life for you. Though at your earlier years, they're responsible for co-creating that life because you are not mature enough to be able to do so. They teach you unconsciously how to co-create your reality. And my upbringing, let's just put it this way. Statistically speaking, I shouldn't be shit. So for me to be sitting here and to be sharing my testimony and to be healing others and letting them know that where you are does not have to be your end destiny, that speaks volumes. And I believe that is the same for many of you guys on this call as well. So now that you're at the space where you are able to co-create for yourself, what type of life do you see fit for yourself? What do you desire for yourself? Because you have the ability to choose that. And I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I think that's where we get it frustrated, because that's what I'm starting to realize. The life that I chose required me to fight for my freedom. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I damn sure didn't think it was going to be this hard. And a lot of it is because of my perspective. We have to change the way we perceive when we feel like the universe is challenging us, right? Because I know me, I will go down this whole rabbit hole of woe is me, right? Why is this happening to me? You know, this, that, and the other. But in all reality, it's happening for you. It's preparation. It is so many different things. So change your perspective about how it is a complete mindset shift. Complete. And what's so challenging is when you're the only person in your family who has the courage to do it. You don't have anyone else to lean on, and you're navigating this experience typically yourself. She said, I literally was crying about this exact thing last night, and I'm stronger than I give myself credit. Absolutely. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. And the tears are necessary because, girl, I crash out. The tears are necessary. And I truly believe that God acknowledges that, and God wants you to see that, yes, I understand how painful this is, but I want you to understand how great you are becoming. From being 17 and buying my own car and fighting for my education. She said, tears are so cleansing for me. I completely agree. Nita, I've done everything on my own. Do you know my parents always tell me, my dad always says, we never did shit for you. You did everything on your own. Can you imagine what that feels like? And I used to get angry because I was like, what's wrong with me? Because I intentionally showed up as the perfect child for some people for thinking that someone was going to show up for me. I never caused any issues because shit, my parents were going through their own stuff. So I didn't want to be the child to be challenging. So I was the straight A student. I got accepted to many colleges. I worked to pay for my prom dresses. Do you know, my mom didn't even show up to my graduation. My whole entire existence from when I was a youth, I pretty much raised myself and was raising my parents. So I know exactly what you feel. And it gets exhausting. But do you know one thing that I will never regret? And I'm going to share this. I remember when I got accepted to so many colleges and I kept seeing all my friends going off to college because their parents were paying for it. I got accepted to so many colleges and I had scholarships, but not enough for school. And I had like $2,000 left for my university and I ended up deciding to stay home to go to school. I was considering going to Hawaii Pacific. Mind you, I should have been traveling a long time ago, but I was like, no, I'm going to stay close to home. What the fuck for? Don't ask me why. I got accepted to Hawaii Pacific and a couple of other universities. My goal was I wanted to go to Howard University. And I ended up going to Bay Path University. And I remember I only had a $2,000 bill left. And I asked my parents, I said, look, you know, is there any way you guys can help me get on a payment plan, etc. I went to the dorm. I had bought all my dorm stuff and you know, got ready to move in. My friend was going to be my roommate. And my dad looks at me and said, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Not even co-sign a loan for me, no nothing. None of my parents, none of my grandparents, none of them. And I had to reset my 4-year plan to end up working to go to a community college and not graduating until I was about 30 something from my undergrad when I had my son. And it was so crazy because my friends, they were in school at the time and they would look at me as the how do you call it? The friend who wasn't in college, like the non-conventional friend, right? And so everybody was looking at me kind of funny, you know? Oh, Kiana's not in college and this, that, and the other. But the funny thing was, God was like, no, you're going to learn what they're going to learn later on in life. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And this is why I always tell people there's 2 types of learners. There's the book smart, and then there's the people who have life experience. I was that person who got life experience and then went to school and got the certification. Me getting the degree was easy. That was cake. That was light work. When my friends were getting released from school and trying to get jobs, mind you, these are the same ones who were going for these high-end degrees. Majority of them are not even working in any of the fields that they got the degree in. Okay? None of them got and me, I was working and trying to go to school and I had my own apartment. I had everything. And so it was as if I was telling myself that I was doing life backwards. I was like, how come everything in my life is backwards? Matter of fact, when I got engaged, do you know, I got the ring after I got married. How about that? My life has always been so backwards. And I was just like, why is it like this? And God said, you're not like everyone else. Stop trying to put yourself in a box. Stop trying to put... She said, what, the ring? Yes, I did not get the ring until after I got married. Because he couldn't afford it. Because I was willing to settle for that. Now I'm feeling like I hit a wall because I don't have a degree. That's a lie, Nita, because a degree does not define your success. How many of you on this call right now have a degree and that shit is collecting dust? I spent my whole entire undergrad busting my ass to make sure I got straight A's. Don't nobody give a damn about them A's. And I'm going to be honest with you, my counterparts that I used to work with, They were drinking and doing, what do you call it? Fraternities and all of that stuff, and they passed with C's, and guess what? They're in the CEO positions, in your corporate positions right now. Because guess what? They got connections. It's not about your grades. It's not about how hard you're pushing. Do as much as you possibly can. Because I'm telling you what, at some point, eventually you are going to burn the fuck out. You are going to burn out. You are going to burn out. Majority of the people that I know with the degrees that they went to school for are not utilizing them. And then the other half of the people define themselves by the degree that they have. That's who they are. And if they don't have that degree, if they don't have that title, they're sitting there depressed because they don't know who they are. It's absolutely not the end of everything. Absolutely. Nita, if that's the case right now, love, Spirit is telling you that it's important for you to identify who you are outside of your titles. Outside of your titles. Who are you outside of all of that? Anytime that people go through a spiritual awakening, I've been through so many different transitions. Like I said, I've lived multiple lives. Like there was even one point in my life where I had completely shaved all my hair off, right? And I mean shaved. That was probably like 2 to 3 years ago. And I do that frequently. I did it about 3 times in my life. I don't know what spiritually calls me to do this cleanse, but anytime that I'm going through an immense transition and it feels heavy, the first thing I do is shave my head off. I don't know if it's a calling from the ancestor or whatever the case may be, but I do understand that hair holds energy. And I'm saying all this to say, like, at one point I was like, okay, taking myself away from wearing certain hairstyles because people tell you spiritually, oh, if you wear your hair this way, that means you're not spiritual. Or if you eat this type of food, you're not spiritual. Or if you wear makeup, you're not spiritual, or anything else like that. So I even one point stopped wearing my crystals and beads because I needed to know who I was without those things first. You have to strip yourself first. You have to strip yourself of things, materialism, the things that you hold on to, so you can identify who you are, so that those things do not define your worth. Then when you learn that, you can revisit them. So it's all about your intentions and what power you are giving those things externally. Because that degree, I'm going to tell you, Nita, especially nowadays, a degree is a quick chat GPT. I just don't think that, people are putting in even as much effort as we used to do back in the day when it comes to getting a degree. Yes, figuring out who I am right now. Absolutely. You have to. Right now, so many people, like the education system, people are just, navigating through it, utilizing AI or things like that. I just think it doesn't have the same... You don't learn as much as you do anymore. It's not something that ingrains or instills in you anymore. It's kind of like, let me answer this question and then I'll revisit it when I'm back into the real life or whatever. But a degree right now, I feel like universities right now are just passing off degrees like it's nothing. But it's just really important, guys, because, I've been stripped of it all. I've been stripped of it all. From losing my first son. You want to be a mother? Here you go. Here's the experience. You're going to have the experience of giving birth to death. Giving life to death in the same moment. Do you know how shitty I felt leaving a hospital or being in a hospital with women? I had to sit in a room. I think that that's why it's so easy for me to fail and get back up in times when most people would say, fuck this. Because for me to sit in a room after giving birth to my child who did not cry, and I sat there looking at him, waiting for him to cry. Mind you, it's a full-term baby. And I'm hearing all of these other women crying, walking the floors because they're exhausted because, they have to deal with their crying baby all night. They had no clue that the woman across from them their baby died. And so here you are upset because you're having to deal with that. But then there's another person in the room over there wishing they could be in your shoes because experiencing the exhaustion you're experiencing. I sat in the birthing room having a miscarriage while everyone was having babies. Absolutely. So did you know at one point, so Nita, funny you said that. Before I became who I am right now, I used to speak to hospitals and gynecologists to teach them the importance of them changing this. Changing the room setting and having specific rooms for women. Having more protocols for how they manage people. So thank you so much, Trina. You know, having a protocol for how they manage the women after giving birth. I didn't have no support. They were willing to give me every antidepressant or anything just for me to be numb. They don't ask the woman how they want to deal with the situation. It's nothing supportive. It's nothing nurturing. It's very cold. So I used to speak to doctors about that. I used to write all types of essays, and I ended up writing blogs for a gynecologist at some point to teach them about fetal loss and things that they should change. But it is a huge, I just never realized how messed up the medical industry was until I gave birth to my son and he was dead. Had no clue. And the fact that I said things like this still happen, and that was back in 2011. And it's still happening today. No, but you know what? It was an experience that was necessary for me to understand that I needed to live in I needed to change. She said the medical industrial complex is inherently racist. Absolutely. Absolutely. I literally, again, I don't know. She said, and yes, it was 2011 for me as well. Wow. When was it for you? My son was to be born on November 30th, and he was born December 5th. That is his name there, London, and it's December 5th, 2011. That day will forever be a life-changing day for me. But that is insane, you know? But the thing is, you know, everything that I went through August, I'm so sorry, Nita, but I'm telling you, the blessings. Honestly, I feel like the reason why I travel, happy Sunday, Liv Femme, thank you for joining. I think the reason why I travel, the reason why I'm so fearless is because I experienced that. I feel like I gave birth to a dead dream. And then I had left the hospital. I leave the hospital, and my ex-husband at the time, he was furious. He's got the baby carrier, and he's slamming through the doors, and he was just so, you know, frantic. And we go home, and I just sat in the bed, and for a period of time, I was scared to sleep by myself. I was scared to be in the dark by myself. I was scared to do anything by myself. And then the crazy thing is, guys, listen to this. After giving birth to him, my body was acting as if he was here. So my breast filled up with milk. Everything was happening. So thank God for my mother-in-law at the time, because my own mother didn't show up and help me in any aspect or capacity. But she came and she made all these different healing teas for me to do yoni steams. So she's Haitian. Most Caribbean women, that's why I will always forever give love and, you know, support and just my unique, genuine, I don't know, heart to the Caribbean community and Spanish community. Honestly, they have literally taught me so much what it is to be a woman, right? And so she had made these yoni steam cleanses and told me to put cabbage leaves on my breast to help to alleviate the pain and to help the milk dry up. And there was just so many things going on with my body that I had no idea. But the number one thing that I did, guys, and this is why I'm sharing this story. So a few days later, one day I woke up, and when I was giving birth to my son, we had we had the typical baby shower, right? I had a shit ton of stuff. When I say diapers for months, clothes for months, I mean, I had the whole entire room decorated, everything. Like, it was insane. So it was about a week later after giving birth that I walked into the room and I had looked at everything. And I'm sitting there looking at everything, and I got all these thoughts in my mind. Oh, you should hold on to these things because guess what? You're going to probably have another baby. Or I need to get rid of this stuff because something is not right. I just can't hold on to this stuff. I can't walk into this room and continue to see this. And so I made a decision and said, I'm going to give away everything to someone that I know that may need it because I can't hold on to this. I was feeling like it was as if Spirit telling me, show me how much you believe in me. Are you willing to hold on to something in fear that you think that I'm not going to fulfill that for you, so you need the physical representation? Or are you willing to give this away to someone that you think may need it and let me bless you when you have nothing prepared for the next thing? And so I literally go and call my friend who I know she has a cousin, or sorry, it was like her cousin. And she's like, my cousin's having a baby. And I'm like, yeah, Crystal, can you please come over and have her come and get everything? She said, Kiana, are you sure you want to give her everything? I said, yes, please tell her to take everything. Now, when you leave the hospital, they only give you a box, right? There's so much receiving and giving, absolutely. They give you a box in the hospital when the baby passes. It's a box, right? And it has, that's all they do. This is your memorabilia, a fucking box with a ribbon on it. And it had my son's hair, pieces of his hair. They cut the baby's hair so you could have it, and his footprints, okay? I literally had his footprints framed in our house. And anytime me and my ex-husband would have arguments, his ass would take it and hide it because he knew how sentimental it was to me. That's a whole nother story. But needless to say, so she comes over, guys, and takes everything from the house. And they're all looking at me because they think that I'm going to have this, whole breakdown. I probably didn't have the breakdown until afterwards, but I was really numb. Something just was like, get rid of it. So she came and she got everything. Mind you, I don't even speak to this woman today. She's never even said anything to me, no nothing. That's a whole nother story about when you're able to give to people and them not even, kind of be grateful. Honestly, I should have gave it to a complete stranger, but that's a whole nother story. But so my ex-husband was at work during the time. So he comes in the house and he flips. What the hell did you do? He's calling everybody, calling his mother. He's like, Kiana got rid of everything in the house. And they're like, Kiana, why'd you do that? You could probably have another baby. I said, something told me to get rid of everything, and I did. Fast forward, I held on to that box with me in every house that I moved into, every place that I went to. I carried that box with me. Because when you're grieving, nobody talks about this aspect of grief. When you are grieving, nobody talks about the fact that you have days where you feel guilty for not maybe thinking of them. And it's not even not guilty thinking of them because you think about them every day. But it's this weird feeling of you feeling guilt as if you're enjoying your life without them. Like life is continuously going on and you didn't acknowledge it, right? Or acknowledge that person. And that is so furthest from the truth. And for people to sit around and feel this sense of guilt, it's a part of the grieving process, and no one really talks about that. Like, I'm going on with my life, or I'm happy today, but yet I experienced a loss. Survival remorse. Exactly. So at one point I just woke up And the box was, I felt like I did my whole undergrad. I dedicated all my undergrad to my studies in psychology about stillbirth and my experience with depression and all of those things. And one day I woke up and I said, I'm driving to the ocean. I was living in Philly at the time, or Philadelphia, the suburbs, and I ended up driving to Jersey and taking that fucking box and putting it in the ocean. Guys, don't shoot the messenger, because I don't want you guys to be like, oh no, don't trash the ocean. No, I wasn't trying to trash the ocean. I just felt spiritually compelled to do so. And I put the box in the ocean. And I truly believe that letting the box go was necessary, because I didn't want to stay stuck in that chapter. When I was going through my grief, guys, and I'm sure you guys experienced this, if you're going to a therapist, if you are going to, these meetings to discuss your grief, and every week you are revisiting that same conversation and no one is helping you with a solution, it's time to let them go. The work that I did with the therapist and me going to these grief meetings and things like that, I'm gonna be honest with you, they were to keep me stuck. Exactly, the beauty of following spirit, the healing that comes from that, exactly. I truly believe, guys, that a lot of what is currently in Western medicine, therapy, etc., is not a tool to help people move on. They help people to acknowledge what it is that they're experiencing. And if you're someone who's hyper vigilant about your mind, your body, and how you process, that is not going to be efficient enough. How am I going to move forward is the question. My dad's been in therapy for 10 years. I tell him the same thing. Majority of people have codependent relationships with their therapist, because that's what you end up doing. When grief is such a heavy thing, right? When grief is a heavy thing, you feel like you need to attach yourself to something. And all of my clients, I refuse for them to attach themselves to me and have this sense of codependency, because they need to be able to lean on themselves, lean onto spirit. When grief is present, you want to hold on so tightly to anything, a person, a place, a thing, materialism. And so it's a very vulnerable space. And I hate to say it, but people capitalize off of people's grief and their need to attach themselves to something. But when I let that box go, I truly believe that had expanded my possibilities of who I was meant to become. I said, I'm letting this go, because I wanted to remember my son as something I can honor and move forward with. Who you're seeing is London's mother. I am a representation of him. And honestly, he gave me the ability to live, because the life that I was living at that time, I was allowing things to just happen to me. I was co-creating a lot of the bullshit that was happening to me off of my internal beliefs that I was not worthy of anything more. The person that you're seeing now that is sitting in front of you is stepping into a season, not even stepping into it, I fully stepped into it. A season of me knowing my worth, but I'm trying to, how do I put it? I was at a point where I was trying to prove to you guys or other people my worth, and that is not my job. You don't have to show people your worth. It is exhibited in how you navigate every day. And that is an ongoing thing with me, especially with the business and what it is that I do. So I'm sharing this story because, again, I want you guys to understand you gave your grief back to the water deities to exchange for strength and hope. Girl, Amen. That was beautiful. That is beautiful. That is truly beautiful. You about to make me cry. That was beautiful. No, and it's so funny because my mom and a lot of people, they just look at me, and I think a lot of people are just like, how the fuck is this girl still here? I'm like 50 Cent getting shot 9 times. So when you guys come to me about your grief, about your relationships, about your desire to change and to walk into your purpose, I know what that feels like. So not only am I someone who is supporting you on that journey, but I am someone who can empathize. Do you know how many people I've worked with in the past, therapists and stuff like that, and I'm looking at them like they don't even know what the fuck I am talking about. They can't even fathom that level of experience. Do you know my last time that it was probably like 6 months ago, because of the challenges that I was experiencing at work. I was looking for a therapist, and I was using teledoc or something like that. And I ended up saying, I was like, you know what? Let me find somebody different. So I was like, I found this Asian guy. And I've worked with women of color as well sometimes, but it's been like a hit or miss with me. So, and again, with me being someone who is very conscious, and guys, everybody should have a therapist. If you're a person that you work with, a mentor or someone that is a spiritual insight for you or whatever the case may be, you need to ask them who is their, help, because they need support as well. I'm so thankful I found a therapist and psychiatrist who truly understand my vibe. Absolutely. And that relatability is necessary in connection. Thank you so much for that. And Ty, that is something that they try to steer you away from, especially in psychology, and you should know that. But each and every one that I connected with, I can honestly say it was just like, what? So the last person that I had connected with, it was an Asian guy, and he said to me, he was like, Kiana, you are extremely articulate. And he says, I don't even think that I can help you. Mind you, this is a psychiatrist. And he said, honestly, I don't even know what it's like to navigate the world in your space right now, especially with the current climate of the world and what we're experiencing. I would suggest you trying to find someone who is African American. The first psychiatrist or therapist to ever say something like that to me. He was like, I'm not going to take your money, lady. I get it. You are extremely aware. And for them to be able to say to you, look, money is great, but I genuinely know that I cannot help you. That takes a lot of strength and authenticity and admiration for someone to be like, I'm not even going to waste your time. Because a lot of them are wasting people's time. Wasting people's time. So, honestly, guys, I just feel like this journey, the greatest form of manifestation is to let go. And that is the component that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't talk about it. You're trying to manifest and bring in these things, but you're not willing to let go of that love, of that job, of the beliefs that you believe in yourself, or you're not willing to let go of a lot of things. And that is the reason why your manifestations are blocked. You have to surrender. Exactly. Because what is God working with when you're trying to hold on so tightly to all of this? Surrendering is the greatest form of saying to God, you got this. That is true faith. That is true faith right there. I'm trusting that you got this. Do you know how much space and capacity that is for God to be able to work into? Like that to me is beautiful. Let him take the wheel. Absolutely. So if you're in a space right now where you feel as though that you don't know what to do, or the way that you were working or doing is no longer working for you, surrender. Completely surrender. I give this to you, God. What is it that you need me to do? God says, God will show you. Okay, let go of that relationship. God, I don't know. Send me a couple more signs. God sends you about 32 more signs. Okay, but just give him a little more time. God's like, no, like now. And it only gets worse, guys. If you want to know when it's time for you to let go of something, it's only going to get worse. I didn't realize that we did not have to learn from pain. I have been a person who has learned from nothing but pain, because I was afraid to let go of things. And now that I'm actively talking to you guys is because of my experience with death, right? Because I've went to so many funerals ever since I was a younger girl, and seeing death so many times. I think the major reason why I was so afraid to let things go was because of that. Next thing you know, he's knocking you upside the head. Exactly. I'm telling you, we don't have to learn the hard way. We really don't. Do you know how many opportunities I've had in my life to actively choose my next situation by just having that simplistic, hard conversation and saying, no, I can no longer do this, or this is going against my boundaries. I can't do this anymore. Or I'm going to change where I'm living, or I'm going to leave this job. I always wait until the fucking shoe drops. So if you're someone who waits for the shoe to drop, you're probably the one that's dropping that shit. Because you did not take heed to all of the messages beforehand that it was time for you to make a transition. It's so crazy. So crazy. But yes, guys, this is absolutely beautiful. So out of curiosity, with all of you that are on the call, what do you feel like you are struggling to let go of? And comment below. And this is a judgment-free zone here, so. Trina said this job. Trina, trust me, I know. LaFemme said doubt. Out of curiosity, Trina, what is your biggest fear about the job? LaFemme, why do you feel that you're having a hard time releasing the doubt? And Ty, ooh, and you are like the mastermind behind fear. You can literally break down fear. So my question to you is, how can you see yourself letting or moving past that fear? What are ways that you can change that? Trina, I already know how that feels. I was going to say, Trina, I already know how that feels because I also had left. Because the job that I was working was taking so much of my energy. LaFemme said, I was raised in the mentality of if you have no expectations, you won't be disappointed. Nita said she's letting go of self-doubt. I'm learning to lean into my intuition and really trust spirit. I want to leave, but it's the benefits. I can move past it. However, I'm in fear of losing the money. So same, Trina. I went through that same situation. Won't be disappointed. Exactly. So the fear behind the losing the money and things like that, like it is very scary. And I navigate that as well. But I was in a golden cage. I love my freedom now to be able to wake up and make money, but for my mental, I will leave. So Trina, have you done, before you do leave, have you considered to do what is it? Short-term disability. So hoping for everything to work out for myself is scary. Absolutely. Hold on one second, guys. That. So yeah, it's a golden cage that you put yourself in. So the biggest thing for me leaving my job has been I didn't realize how programmed we are. If you think about it, we have the capacity to make money every day, but we just rely on this guarantee that every 2 weeks, every week, because we work for this company, that we're gonna have this elusive, right? We're gonna get paid every week or every 2 weeks. I have many clients who right now they've either lost their job or the job is extremely toxic. It's to the point where it is taking a lot on their mental and things like that. It's honestly a huge rewire. You have to rewire your mindset. Every day that you wake up, you could be making money. And as I navigate these countries and I move about to different countries, especially like Latin America and stuff like that, people get up every morning and will sell whatever the fuck they need to sell to make sure that their family eats that day. And don't get me wrong, they stay stagnant though, right? She said my job is really toxic. Yes, mine was as well. And I had to go because I was either playing with my health and my children wouldn't be able to be around me. I mean, my kids wouldn't have a healthy mother if I stayed. And I waited, Trina. Oh my gosh, I kept delaying. When is going to be the right time to leave? Oh, I'm going to stay when not the promotions, when the what do you call it? The yearly bonuses come out. I'm going to stay until, I get this certain amount of money in my 401k. I just woke up one morning and I typed an email and I said, I'm sorry, this is my last day. And I have moments where I'm like, was that a smart decision? Many of those moments. But let me explain something to you. My kids are happy. I'm taking care of my health. My body and my anemia is healing. I'm no longer having those dizzy spells. Can I tell you guys something? It's literally you making little small conscious decisions every day that played a role into who you are right now. And now that I'm talking to you guys out loud about this, because I'm navigating this in real time, Trina, so use me as an example. I chose to do this full time. And every day I'm not making money. Some days I make and get a lot of clients, and then some weeks I don't. I know where I'm going and who I'm being called to be. And I know that this is going to be very lucrative at some point because I know my capabilities. But I placed myself in a situation where celebrate the small wins every day. Exactly. And I placed myself in a situation. That's the reason why I love living abroad, because I have the liberty to have a lower, cost of living. And not only that, but a better better type of living. And now that I'm talking to you guys out loud, I used to sit in front of you guys in the camera and feel a bout of dizziness, or I would feel certain things that was correlated to my sickness because I was pushing myself so much. And Trina, I'm sure like you're like, they always tell you need a bridge, right? You need another job. Find another job before you leave, or build something before you leave. I was trying to build a business in Thailand. That failed. And I don't want to say it failed, but I was being redirected. And then, so I was hoping that was going to be my bridge for me to leave. That's what I invested in. I lost everything. I lost everything. And I'm still able to sit here and talk to you guys about these life experiences and motivate you guys to do the same. She says, I want to move to Texas where I am more supported. Then do so. What's holding you back? Sell the house, sell the things, do whatever you need to do. If that's where you are being called to be supported, then go. And I only came to Colombia because this was supposed to be a sidetrack. So my goal is to get to Brazil because Brazil was where my spirit radiated. I had low inflammation and all of this other stuff. But since I've been in Colombia, the only thing I don't like is that it rains a lot here in Medellin. But Spirit gave me everything that I needed. I have a doctor who is treating my iron. I have support. I have, social connections. I'm meeting people. The other day, I made a video. I met a woman who is not on social media. She's a Black woman. She used to be an anesthesiologist, and she left. I don't know who the hell this is. I don't know why people keep sending me. Is it Women's Day today? Everybody keeps sending me Women's Day stuff. I think that's so funny. But she's an anesthesiologist, and she's not on social media. And she connected me with so many spiritually connected Black individuals that are here in Colombia as well. And so here I was in Thailand trying to build something because I keep getting all these memes. I'm like, people don't text me. Where am I getting all these memes from? So happy Women's Day, ladies. But yes. Ooh, that's a good thing too. Let me go into that. Since it's Women's Day, if you could give another woman advice right now, what would you say to her? Comment below. This is what I want to hear. Oh, I was wondering why my music was going off. I was vibing. Oops. It got all quiet and it's rainy. I'm hearing the dogs barking outside. I mean, believe in yourself. I love that. Because the advice that we typically give to others would be the advice that we need to follow ourselves. That's how it always is. So trust and believe any advice that I'm giving you guys, I typically am like, shit, Kiana. Okay, I got it. I don't know how many countless times that I've worked with clients, and you guys don't understand that even though you may feel like I'm healing you or I'm giving you this level of support, trust and believe that you guys heal me as well. LaFemme said, trust the process, period, boo. I love that. Remember who you are and step fully into your power. Absolutely. I'm trying to think, what would I tell another woman? It would be in correlation to our body. It would be something to the point of you're a powerful manifester. Honor your body and deny access to those who don't deserve that. Because I don't think a lot of you guys even realize how you all are powerful manifestors, and all of us have allowed people to access us that did not deserve access to us. And that plays a role in our manifestations as well. I truly believe that we are a portal, and men would be powerless if they didn't have access to us. And so I'm like thinking this is like rolling off my tongue right now. Like, prime example, I didn't even really look into the Epstein files and stuff like that, but that is the reason why men have this like obsession with women. It's not even just the sexual aspect, it's a power thing. And a lot of my clients don't even realize this, and I talk to them very frequently. That's why men who don't like certain women will still sleep with them, because that gives them access to their power. That gives them access to gain their manifestations. How many men have you probably slept with or gave them some sense of access to you? I just got a restriction again. What is going on? Gifting suspended. Okay. Sorry, guys. They're still sending me nonsense. How many people have you engaged in with, right, that when they left the relationship, they left with more and you left with like having to rebuild? How many of you have been through that experience? And it could just be a friendship too. It doesn't have to be intimacy. It is very much alive. People do connect with other individuals just to access your energy. The things that you could do in your life, the things that you do for people, that's what people gravitate towards you for. So I would definitely say to a woman, honor your vessel, because it's a powerful manifestation tool. And honestly, lately I've been on this whole body thing. I think it's because I've been dealing with, healing my anemia and having to rewire my system. And my body is telling me, like, you've given birth to 2 children. You've allowed these people to have access to you. Like, understand, like, we need time to heal. And I don't think that we give ourselves enough time to heal. And I didn't realize how impatient I was until going through this anemia and realizing that this is a process. It takes months. And it's not something that is just going to happen overnight. But I do feel a lot better. That's why they say behind every successful man is a powerful woman. Absolutely. Do you know what I think would stop all wars right now? First of all, Trump needs to be entertained. Somebody needs to go in there. I'm talking about one of the baddest chicks from Magic City to go into the Oval Office and just keep him entertained. Maybe even throw a couple of circles and make him have a, let me not say it because I'm going to get restricted. But he needs to be entertained. I think a woman going into the office right now, just entertain. He's not entertained right now. She said, do you know that you pour in so much into others? Do you pour into you? I absolutely do, Trina. So I make an effort. But I had no idea, Trina, until, I don't know if you're asking these questions for other women, or you're asking it to me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know how much I was poured into others until I experienced this. No lie, because he's just enjoying this ish because he has nothing else better to do. Listen, that's what I'm telling you. He needs to be entertained. Someone just go over there and send the baddest chick from Magic City, a few of them, and just like have, just like block out a whole entire week and do what they need to do. And that'll keep him busy. It'll keep because I don't know what's his wife is doing, but she clearly isn't doing nothing over there. She said, because you definitely poured into me the other night. Sincere gratitude. You are so welcome, love. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. It makes me happy when you guys reach out to me and tell me, that a message that I share with you was invaluable or it's helping you navigate this. And I just want everybody when they're going through something, guess what? They think they're by themselves, or they think that they're alone. And that's furthest from the case. And I realized that when I experienced my stillbirth, I said most people don't get the permission to heal because majority of them isolate themselves because they isolate their situation as if it's unique. I'm only going through this and nobody understands me. And that's furthest from the truth. There's a multitude of people who are going through it. People just don't feel vulnerable enough to share their stories. And if people did, there would be no racism. There would be none of this stuff that we're experiencing in this life because we have more in common than people think we do. And I've traveled to Asia, I've traveled to Latin America, I've traveled to so many places, and everybody got the same shit going on, just in different languages. Different languages. And one thing that I'm also identifying too, culturally, a lot of people, that's something that I want to make a video about too. Culturally, people are using culture as a way to keep themselves stuck. I hate to say it. People are like, oh, culture. Majority of culture is trauma bond. Don't fight me for it. Please don't fight me for it. Culture can be a trauma bond. It's a way that people are using to distinguish themselves, right? To distinguish themselves from another set group. But a lot of it is a trauma bond. And it keeps people stuck. Because it's just information a lot of times that people don't challenge. Matter of fact, when I told you guys, give me a second, I need to go on the call. Micah's grandmother had called. And she was like, Kiana, she was like, sorry, I was at church today. And I was like, oh, no worries. And I was like, what was the message for church? Because I always ask that. Don't ask me why. I love to hear what the message. I don't like going to church, but I want to hear, what did you learn? Because if you're going, what the fuck did you learn? Am I the only one that asked this question? I ask my mom this. Anybody that tells me they went to church, I'm always asking, what did you learn? Right? And I promise you, majority of them respond to me like my fucking 13-year-old son does. When I ask him, what did he learn today in school? I promise you. What did you learn today? What did you learn in church today? What was the message? And they respond just like a 13-year-old. They'd be like, she was like, oh, I was at a Catholic church. I said, and what does that matter? She was like, Kiana, I don't know. But it was nice. If you're going to church, if you're engaging in these rituals, if you're going to experience these things, they learn to repeat scripture. Exactly. But I'm like, what are you learning? What message did Spirit give you in that space? And none of them never really have an answer. I'm like, why would you even go? Matter of fact, that's what I'm about to start doing to my clients on the one-to-ones. I'm going to ask them, what did they learn from our call? Because that speaks volumes. And the reason why I would ask that question is because it would tell me everything that I need to know about the next steps and what their major focus is. A lot of people, they come to me and they have these conversations and they only want to know about one thing. I could tell them about their traumas and you know, things that they need to heal from and how they can work towards that and this, that, and the other. And all they wanted to hear was, is Chris coming back? Yeah, Chris is going to come back, but not in the way that you want him to. He is going to come back unhealed. I can honestly say this, guys, and I'm so proud of myself, and it took me a long time to figure this out. If you are spending time waiting for someone to change and you're not doing your own work, never mind. Your whole environment and all of your connections will shift when you do. That's how you know they are playing with spirit laugh out loud and their focus is off. Absolutely. 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 I feel like a client blocked me recently because I told them something they didn't want to hear. I feel bad. But the only way that you are going to get people to change is if you change your frequency and tell them that you are no longer accessible to me unless you meet me here. And that's it. And that's in every capacity, whether it's an intimate relationship, a friendship, whatever the case may be. You have to meet me here. Stop meeting people down here. We got to stop doing that. Oh, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to support you and I'm going to try to bring you. No, we're not doing that no more. 2026, we're not doing that no more. No more. And not every conversation requires your energy. You do not need to explain to anybody why you made the decision that you made, why you're telling them no, you're not interested. Stop explaining yourself. We're not doing that no more. Save your energy. That's how we're saving our energy these days. People at your work giving you a hard time, just stare and look at them and say, okay. Okay. I used to date a guy. That's another one. And I remember I used to send him, this was a while ago, guys. I don't do this shit no more. I used to send him paragraphs trying to explain certain things. All of those things, right? You know, how I feel, how'd you make me feel, how disappointed I am about certain things. And he would respond to me, okay. And I used to get pissed off. But he taught me a lesson, taught me a grand lesson. That is the perfect way to block yourself from accessing that level of energy. That person is dumping onto you. The one that's sending you that paragraph. You don't own them, or you don't own how they feel. That's on them. You can acknowledge it and say, yep, I understand that's how you feel, etc. But the moment you start responding to them, okay is like that stop. It stops here. It stops here. So if you guys need to use that moving forward, people gonna be pissed off, but it's definitely an energetic saver. I'm gonna tell you that. And another thing too, Trina, I know you have mentioned, do I know how many people that I help? I'm in a space where I'm learning how to let people help themselves. My job is to help a person help themselves. I can't save them, but I can help them help themselves. And that alleviates me from energetically being connected, because at one point I was so energetically tied to the outcomes of you guys' situations. I would want the best. I want the best for all of you guys. I would hope for you guys to do certain things, but I can't make that change for you. I cannot. So learning how to help you help yourself has been a tremendous shift for me. So, yes. It's gotten quiet in here. You guys are getting quiet. Wow, we're at 15K likes, guys. Thank you so much for the likes and love and the support. I really appreciate it. And allowing me to, ramble and chat and shift the energy from TikTok trying to ban me. I'm definitely considering going over or creating longer form TikTok videos. YouTube videos. So I'm definitely considering that. So if you guys want to check me out on YouTube, I'll be over there too. Don't ask me when I'm making the video though. Oh, it's so rainy out. Well, guys, I have to head to the gym. at some point. It's 12 o'clock. I will probably be on later this evening around maybe 5, 6 o'clock. I have a couple of clients this afternoon, so I'm going to head to the gym, make sure that hello love, how are you? I am probably going to head to the gym and get myself ready for the day. But again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm never on here so early. But I will chat with you guys later. All right, bye guys.